Hey YouTube, it's All Saints here, coming with another video today. I watched a video from one of my subscriptions, MegaCapitalG's channel. I love his videos. I wish him the best. And he made a video about YCS Toronto. It's why I think Evil Swarms will win. Now, of course, I'm making a video response to that. Now, I'm not trying to insult his channel or anything. I'm not doing anything. It's just a regular response. So, I mean, anyone who's watching this video, even MegaCapitalG himself, just saying, I'm just making a response to the video. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Alright, so he says Evil Swarms will probably win YCS Toronto. And, he gave some pretty okay reasons. I mean, the most legitimate one is the two meta decks, the Dragon Ruler Plants and the Prophecy. They're not as powerful as it once was. That is true, yes. Prophecy does not have Spellbook of Judgment, but then again, they're back to square one with the format of not them having it. I mean, they only lost 3 cards out of that deck. They can easily replace it with other 3 cards. They can put World of Prophecy in, and I just think that Prophecy is still a strong deck that can contend with a title. I don't know if it'll win the title yet, but it's still a strong deck that can beat people out. Dragon Ruler Plants, I mean that deck was killed a lot. I mean, they lost essentially 12 to 15 cards out of the deck, which is basically 25% of the deck. However, they mixed it with some plants. Not as consistent or as powerful, but just as annoying. So, I mean, I think that Dragon Rulers and Prophecy can still be Evil Swarm out because, number one, Evil Swarm lost traps for protection. Like, the one significant blow, I guess, against the Prophecy matchup is they only have one epidemic virus. They have just one. And they can only stop it for that one turn, but it's not really going to do too much. I mean, they could still recover from it. They could still get cards back for the graveyard with the Spellbook of Tower. They can get it back through Spellbook of the Master. They can still use Fate to chain with it. So I think one Eradicator Epidemic Virus is just not enough to contend with the Prophecy matchup. Dragon Ruler Plants, it can slow them down, but I don't think it can fully stop them. Again, they can still have access to Blaster's effect to destroy Ophion on the field. So that's one reason why I don't think Evil Swarm can win. Another reason is they haven't really impacted the meta decks of last format, and I don't think they can impact it this format. I mean, the one specific example with the North American Championship on TCG Player Dual Yu-Gi-Oh, there was only one Evil Swarm deck that actually made it. All the rest of them were just Prophecy, Dragon Rulers, and then you had that occasional Medolce deck, but that's another story. They just have not been able to influence the meta as much. I mean, it gave them a little bit of problems here and there, but they just have not impacted it a lot. And I don't think it's going to impact a lot in this meta. Yes, we lost Heavy Storm and lost some traps, but again, I just don't think it's going to be able to impact as much because of the extreme ban list we got, it actually made other decks stronger, such as Black Wings, Zombies, Infernity, Constellars, Boojins, and Mermails. I just think those decks will probably beat out the Mermails. I mean, not the Mermails, the Evil Swarms at YCS Toronto, just because those decks got stronger. Speaking of that, the Evil Swarm strategy is very, very cut and dry. Like, mainly, if you look at all Evil Swarm decks, they have Thunderbird, Heliotrope, what is that? Caster, Kirkion, Infestation Pandemic. In fact, I have this stuff right here. Infestation Pandemic, Infestation Collapse, Infestation Infection, and in their extra deck they have Thanatos, Bahamut, Ouroboros, which almost no one summons, and of course their ace card, Ophion. I mean, the deck is very, very cut and dry, meat and potatoes, type of deck. It just summons Ophion, protects it, and that's it. It's not much innovation with Evil Swarm, so that's one reason why I think they'll just get flat out stomped by other decks just because of that strategy. Um, Also, it's a lot slower than other decks. I mean, you have Caster. Let me pull up Caster real quick. Caster. Here you go. During the turn this card is normal summon, you can normal summon one Evil Swarm or Steel Swarm monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. It's very reliant on summons like this to get out Ophion. And I think with people, probably maining cards like Trap Hole or Fiendish Chain and Breakthrough Skill, well, it doesn't actually affect this card, but with Trap Hole and Bottomless Trap Hole, I just think the deck is just too slow and too reliant on summons like this and summons like, where is Kirkion at? And that to be really effective, it's just very, very slow. Constellar has actually perfected what Evil Swarm should have been. That's why I believe Constellar is a better deck than Evil Swarm, because Constellar is not really as linear as Evil Swarm is. Also, offensively, they're weaker than most of the decks. Sure, they're consistent at bringing out a 2,550 beat stick, but it can only do that maybe a total of 3 or 4 times during a duel. You have agents that can bring out Exceed monsters, Synchro monsters, and monsters from their own hand or deck that are inherently stronger than Ophion. Dragon Ruler plants, they can bring out monsters stronger. Blackwings can bring out stronger monsters, especially if they have 3 Kalutes in their hand. Zombies can bring out stronger Synchros. Infernities can bring out Synchros. Fire Fists, they can get rid of Ophion and put some offense with their fire formations. Mermails can put some offense on the board and by getting rid of Ophion as well. Constellars, Bujins is the problematic one. Bujins can actually get rid of Ophion much easier than any of the other decks. So offensively, they're just not that compatible. They don't summon anything else that much more often than Ophion. Now, I bet many people's counter argument is, well, if they have Ophion on the field, they're fine. They're not exactly fine. Still, they lost protection. I mean, you're not going to protect yourself all day with this. I mean, you're basically lowering your field. You're not, against Dragon Ruler plants, you still have access to Blaster, which is at 3. They'll get rid of it easily. Bujins do it much better. They have the Quillin, which can get rid of stuff. They have the Bujini Turtle, which will negate his effect. So it's really very difficult to really say how Evil Swarm will even win YCS. Too many of the decks will just get wiped out. Now, will one deck make top 8? Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance that it can happen, but will it win YCS? I highly doubt it. I mean, it's just too many decks that, again, got stronger with the ban list. And Ophion, I think, got weaker from the ban list. They lost a rabbit, and they lost a lot of traps. Now, with the Infernities making top 8, yeah, I agree with that. Infernities got stronger thanks to Transmodify, and just to speed the deck's process up. I don't think they're going to win either, but I think that Infernities will make a good showing. Third point, I agree as well with Dragon Ruler Plans, Prophecy, and Geargia and Karakuri making a lot of showings. Yeah, they're gonna be good decks. That's gonna make it up there. Dragon Ruler Plans is still consistent. Prophecy is still consistent. Geargia, which I actually have a deck of that, and Karakuri, they're very, very explosive, and they can just wipe out other decks. Getting into that top 8 spot, they can do it. Now, my opinion, I think that I think fast will not be key to winning. I think card advantage will be key. And the decks that are pretty good with card advantage is Bujins and Agents. I mean, Bujins they don't use a whole lot of resources. Many of the resources is either in the graveyard or in the hand, and they can bring it back to the graveyard and back to the hand, which makes it a very, very potent deck to deal with. Yeah, you have your motto that continuously adds cards to your hand and then puts them in the graveyard. And they'll either put the turtle or the Quillen in the graveyard, and they'll put the crane in the hand. So defensively, they're just hard to deal with in battle, hard to get them off the field, and just hard to keep cards on the field against them. So a sleeper deck for me is Boojins. A deck I think will probably win is Agents, which is probably the direct opposite of Evil Storm, Farthest Constellar. Agents, I think, Transmodify makes them faster. They're very, very consistent with their third Earth. And Arc Lord Christia will actually shut down every other special summoning monster in both players' deck. I mean, most likely, the Agent's player's field is already established but when he plays the Christia. And it's also a 2800 beater. So again, it's not going to be it's not going to be very easy taking that guy off. But that is it with my video response. Let me know. I hope MegaCapitalG sees this video, because it's not often I see other people post videos in responses to other subscribers. I actually think that's actually very healthy, instead of just leaving comments in the section below. So let me know what you guys think, and this is All Saints signing out here. Peace, guys.